Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary, and this is not David. So, I just wanted to. I've given Dave the night off. I told him I would just go ahead and do a reading today. So there's a couple things going on. The first thing I want to read on is Trump's latest attack on ActBlue. So, in case you missed it, Trump and the Republicans are accusing ActBlue as being a conduit for foreign contributions to Democratic political candidates and Democratic committees. And Trump wants the Attorney General Pam Bondi to look into straw contributions or foreign contributions to political candidates. The thing is, there's a House representative from the House from Wisconsin, Brian Steele, who did analysis on ActBlue already. And his analysis not only failed to advance the Republican theory that ActBlue was taking these fake contributions and foreign contributions, he actually found that, in fact, ActBlue's website was very good at deflecting foreign contributions to Democratic candidates. So, and the other thing that's curious is, with the Republicans, every accusation they make is merely a confession to what they are currently doing. So let's take a look at ActBlue and the Republicans' attacks on him, and just see where this is going for entertainment purposes only. All right. And before I start, I just want to give a quick shout out to Barbara Sobel, who she says is Not David's #1 fan. So Not David approves that message. So for entertainment purposes only, let's take a look at what's going on with ActBlue. Because, obviously this is just another attack on the Democrats to try and, if you can't do voter suppression, and why not just cut off all their political funding, right? So let's see how ActBlue is responding to this. Oops, upside down. Okay, foundation of the reading is Hierophant. Government large institutions, they're certainly being attacked by the government and the large institutions. The challenge is they've been fundraising and they've been working hard to get the fundraising. Now, one of the ironic occurrences after Trump went on his little tirade and wanted the Attorney General to look into him was they had like their best fundraising day in a long time. Go figure. People are like, oh yeah, you're going to attack our fundraising conduit? We are going to support it. Underneath it is the Eight of Cups. They're very tired of the attacks. ActBlue is disappointed that Trump even thinks he's going to get traction with this. It could also be, some of the people around ActBlue are disappointed with the constant attacks. This could be why they're getting so many contributions. I don't think people are walking away from ActBlue. Now, I've got my own personal issues with ActBlue. My personal issue is when you donate to a candidate or set of candidates, all of a sudden you are just bombarded with text messages asking for more money. And I donated more money in the 2024 campaign than I have up until my entire life, up until that point. And it's not that it was a huge amount of money, but it's just like more. It's like, I did my part, and you guys, the Democratic candidates fell short in every single measure. And so, if ActBlue wants more of my money, I want to see more out of the Democratic Party before I'm just going to give them a whole bunch more money. Show me what you're doing with this. You didn't even do any kind of recount in Ohio or in Pennsylvania. You couldn't even fund a recount so that we could at least put to rest whether Elon Musk had electronically altered the outcome of the election. So if you're not even going to fight for that, then, good luck getting more of my money. In the past, it's the King of Pentacles. This could be people donating, to ActBlue, or this could simply be the Republican oligarchs and Trump not being happy with how much they got out fundraised by ActBlue, which is that feels right for that position. Current energy, ActBlue needs to take action. They need to grab the stick and start swinging it. This is a call to action. This is a call to arms. Don't let the rich oligarchs control, all the fundraising. I'm sure most of ActBlue's the contributions were small contributions from individual contributors like you and me. Overarching energy is the Queen of Wands. They have to take a new action, and they got to get busy. They got to get busy showing results and taking action against this. Lesson to be learned. If you're passive, the Republicans are going to go out there and celebrate. If you go ahead and just let them do this unchallenged and you don't take actions, they're going to continue winning and they're going to continue celebrating. So if you want to be the celebrant, you need to take action. You need to take multiple actions and fight off the oligarchs. Keep working hard, but it's got to be more than working hard. You got to get your allies into positions of power and authority. The outcome is the Four of Wands. You've got to get people, like I said, you have to get people elected. You've got to get them in office and get them working together. Personally, I don't think ActBlue is doing anything that the Republicans are accusing it of. But if you want to celebrate, you got to get people working together and you got to get on it. That's the problem with the Democrats right now, is they're not fighting back yet. And in some ways that's a good thing. In some ways it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because, MAGA needs to see Trump at his worst. And if you looked at Trump's latest poll results, his approval poll is terrible. I think it was down 5 points in the month of March. It's the lowest first 100 days of any president on record. He even beat his own record when he was president back in 2016. Of course, Trump's not happy about that. But, that's great. You let him fall on his face. But then when he's down, get that Ace of Wands and start clubbing him start clubbing him. Don't let him get up. Go on the attack. Get out there, find out what the more mainstream Republicans, the independents, the Democrats that didn't vote, find out what it is, what their issues are, and then start addressing that. And then you might find you have a little more luck in the polls. So how much success will this Republicans have any success in attacking ActBlue and either bringing down the platform or severely limiting its ability to fundraise? Let's take a look at that. Okay. All right. Okay, so the Republicans are charging forth recklessly as usual. Charge, it's, ready, fire, aim. We got to act quickly, not rationally. The challenge is the Three of Wands. They're moving quickly because they're absolutely convinced that foreign contributions are the only reason why people are donating so much money to this platform. The energy underneath it is the Ten of Swords. What I get from this is it's not that their attacks are going to end. What it is they're trying to end the Democratic Party's ability to put candidates, give candidates a real shot at getting elected. Once again, this is about voter suppression. This is the gerrymandering, the SAVE Act trying to force proof of citizenship to vote. Killing their fundraising is just another way to kill off the ability for the Democrats to put voters or to put candidates into office. In the past, you got the Six of Wands, the Republicans declaring victory. in the election. Current energy is the judgment card. You know, what we need to do, so I'm reading out the Republicans, but the Republicans are blowing the horn saying, oh, everyone needs to stand up and take notice that this is what the Democrats are doing. What you do need to stand up and take notice is if there's an investigation and it turns out that it's all legit, that you need to stand up and take notice and act on the people that are blowing that false horn. This is just one of those false flag operations that the Republicans are running. The overarching energy is the Two of Swords. There's decision to be made. The Republicans are blowing the horn saying they're cheating, and the initial analysis is no, they're not. As a matter of fact, their system's actually pretty good. So do you continue the attacks, keep doubling down, or do you just let it go away quietly into the night? Lesson to be learned is the Chariot. The Democrats are starting to get momentum. They've been sitting back and they've been quite passive, with the exception of AOC and Bernie Sanders and Tim Walz going out to red districts and talking to people. They've been kind of laying back, but the lesson to be learned is you got to move forward. Trump does everything in the rearview mirror. He's still convinced that the Democrats rigged the 2020 election, right? He's still harping on that crap. They're not moving forward. That you need to move forward. You need to get past this. But the Republicans, because Trump's in charge, aren't moving forward. The outcome is the 10 of Wands. They got two tens in this. They're just taking on more burden. My feeling is, and I'm granted I am somewhat biased, but in these cards, I see nothing that's a victory, other than other than this card here, which was in the past, and they need to move forward. They can't just sit on their past victories. They need to actually move forward, do something productive. But instead, they're just going to keep lugging the burden that Trump gives them, which is the Democrats cheated and we need to suppress their votes. You just gotta love them, I guess I could do a little four-carder. Why not? It'll be kind of fun, right? Okay, so the Republicans are really good at projecting. So are they accusing the Democrats of using foreign contributions? Because that's exactly what they're doing. And if that is what they're doing, will they get caught on this? I'll just do a side by side. So, okay, so this side will be, are the Republicans doing this? Are they getting foreign monies? And this side will be, will they? If so, we'll see how this reading goes. If so, will they get caught? So I'm not even going to read this unless this is coming up as pretty positive. So are the Republicans getting foreign contributions? And that's why they're accusing the Democrats. Okay. So the foundation of the reading is the Empress. This is the old Mother Russia card. So that's a pretty good indicator that, yeah, they're getting foreign help. Is it all money? Certainly not all money, but the Russian trolls are out there in mass. Underneath it is the World card, that they've got others. Their sources are internationally based. Russia's been contributing. They've got other help from around the world. I don't know which other countries that could be. Certainly El Salvador is very complicit with them. I don't know if they got any help from them. You got the Moon card, trying to keep a mystery and confusion around this, and around where the source of the money and the wealth and the things of value came from. I'm going to say this is a pretty positive reading, that this is the case of, the husband comes running up the stairs to the bedroom, two at a time, kicks open the door, then immediately looks under the bed to see if his wife is cheating on him. And the reason why he's doing it is because that's where he's been. Okay, so if that's the case, if the Republicans are cheating and using foreign contributions to accusing the Democrats, will the Republicans ultimately be caught with this? Okay, Nine of Cups, hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. This is also, we've also been getting the oligarch card out of this. The win at Five of Swords, win at all costs. Page of Swords, some creative solutions, basically willing to take the fight on. Are you willing to take on all comers? And then you got the Four of Swords, contemplating. These. So will they get caught? So Nine of Cups. So it's hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. I mean, it depends whose hopes, wishes, and dreams, right? If it's a Democrat or someone who believes in fairness, rule of law, yeah, you hope they get caught. My feeling, though, is I've been kind of jaded on this cars that the Republicans are smug. That, you know what, we're doing what we do. This is just how we do it. We win at all costs. It doesn't matter. This is the card that's throwing me here. They're willing to attack anybody, and they're certainly not stopping to think about what they're doing. Let's look at the energy underneath it. So the underneath energy is, you got justice here and you got the burden here. It's the burden of proof. So are the Republicans doing it? Yeah, this justice card is not throwing me at all. They feel it's just and right. That they're just in doing it. The burden of proof here on the Democrats. I suspect that they probably won't get called out on it, just because the Democrats would actually need to prove it. And I think the Democrats they have more fish to fry than that. There's bigger things to go after than figure out if the fundraising arm of the Republican Party is corrupt. I mean, you could do a one card on that, right? Okay, I'm going to wrap that up here. Dave and I will do some readings tomorrow. There's definitely some things going on. I'm really kind of jacked up about Trump and Ukraine, basically saying that Zelensky needs to basically give Russia Crimea and most of the territory that the Russians have already taken in Ukraine. And Russia's what Russia gives up is basically nothing. The threat of taking over the rest of Ukraine. And Trump says, that's a pretty big concession. That's a pretty big concession. They're not going to take over all of Ukraine, just the 20% that they took over. It's like, seriously? You're just giving the Russians everything they want, and that's just to get a ceasefire. That's not even a peace. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. So, yeah, you can tell I'm still triggered by that. But Dave and I will probably read on that tomorrow because, our twin energy on that ought to be really spicy. So, there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Dave and I truly appreciate that, and Not David appreciates it too. And I guess Not Gary's going to have to make an appearance now and again. Someone was asking about him. I have to get him out of the closet there. So I just wanted to give a couple of shout outs to folks that have been active in the comments or made kind contributions. So I'd like to reach out to and give a shout out to Wendy Klebe, who made a very thoughtful and generous contribution to the channel. You got the Six of Pentacles. Thank you so much for the contribution to Dave and I. We both appreciate it. I don't know if we'll get on our knees and thank you, but I'll sit down and thank you. How's that? What else have I got there? Is Christina from Sweden. Hi, Christina. She just wanted a shout out in a card. So Christina, oh my, you've got the Ten of Swords. So we could put that to bed. Lovely springtime in Sweden. And you know what? While we're talking about Sweden, we got to give a nod to Alf Carlson. Cowboy Alf, here's a secret card for you. King of Cups. The mature, emotional person you are. Let's see. I've got Teresa Lemek, who is more of a Captain Kangaroo fan. but who never got shouted out on Romper Room. You've got the Wheel of Fortune. Anything can happen from this point forward. And then I'm going to wrap it up with Aurelia, who wanted Dave and I to sing a birthday song for her because it's her birthday. Well, Dave's not here. I'll let not Dave sing it to you. But happy birthday, Aurelia. She's from the San Francisco Bay Area. I believe she's actually in San Francisco and a very frequent contributor to the comments section. So I really appreciate you. And for the rest of us, a little bonus card, Ace of Cups. You know, these are emotional times. I get spicy too. You know, I'm a pretty upbeat and positive person, but man, oh man, Trump and MAGA can get my fire going like nobody else. And it's so frustrating. So, you know, for those of you that are out there protesting, good for you. For those of you that are protesting in spirit, hey, that's great too. You know, we support you in your efforts. I know it's tough out there. I constantly get comments from blue dots in red states, blue dots in red families. Get that Ace of Cups, you know, try and be the King of Cups like Alf Carlson, man. Just try and keep the emotions. Don't let him get the best of you. You know, we'll have our chance. That Ace of Wands moment is coming for us, but we just have to be a little more patient. Let this process play out. It's hard as hell right now. I totally get it. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.